Hello everyone, welcome back to Blackjack. I'm Blackjack Aviati. Today we are going to be watching Sentry versus Superboy Prime, and I actually need to to get at it because I'm going to be working at Hillsborough Pride in a couple of hours. Oh.
Sentry versus Superboy Prime.
These two dark Supermen prove that sometimes absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, yeah.
I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah.
One superhero stands alone at the
I love that
peak of Marvel Comics. He's
Alex
a brilliant
Ross style, you
scientist
know.
and friend to all, the Golden Guardian of Good, the Sentry.
Which makes it all the more mysterious when all of humanity forgot about him, as though he never existed in the first place.
What if the reason we
dear.
forgot Sentry is that he wanted to be forgotten?
To save us from himself.
As the story goes, Robbie Reynolds was just your average, ordinary high school teen.
Once drank a lake filled with LSD.
Super soldier serum.
That is an abridged Popo
Robbie was
level
imbued with
feat.
the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, becoming one of the strongest superheroes in existence.
Nice.
That's gonna be one hell of a bowel movement. And what better way to use his
Boomstick,
new
come
powers
on.
than to become a sentry to all mankind?
In a never-ending crusade against his devious arch-nemesis, the Void.
He's got all your classic. I can't believe he's
Got a
got
whole Phantom
Kryptonian
Blot thing
superpowers,
going on there.
like super strength, speed, durability, and flight.
He can spot you from miles away, or even hear a butterfly sneeze from across the planet.
Do butterflies sneeze?
No!
Well,
Do they?
Sentry's cells absorb
Do they really
and
not?
process the sun's rays, and if he wants to,
Jeez,
he
I'm getting
can fire that
pop-ups.
solar energy right back at you in a powerful laser, or bend light away to turn invisible, or use it to make force fields.
Really, the
Of course,
Sentry can
of
draw
course.
power from
What you
anywhere
do.
and everywhere. When he was forcibly shrunk down to subatomic
Who said
size,
anything about
he started
fighting
pulling
on
energy
Earth?
from the microverse instead. And despite being microscopic, his punches were strong enough to destroy planets.
Damn.
Holding back.
Sentry can teleport, communicate telepathically, and even read and mess with minds.
Was
He's
that
also
Xavier
a
he was
genius
talking
with
to?
a super brain comparable to Tony Stark and Reed Richards. He's even built
Okay.
his own watchtower with an advanced AI that is constantly monitoring the planet for threats.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's like the Avengers all in one. Why do there even need to be any other superheroes?
Indeed, the Sentry is more than strong enough to take on Marvel's heaviest hitters, like his famous battle with the Green Scar
Gotta have
Hulk,
some
where Black Bolt, Iron Man, and
time
Doctor
off.
Strange
Everyone
failed.
needs time
the
off.
Sentry was the only one who stood against the Hulk's full power.
He's
Nice.
also battled Thor, who collapsed an infinite number of timelines into
Oh
one,
my God, what was
clashing
that?
with another Thor.
The Sentry is incredibly fast, too. He can bend space and speed blitz Ares, who can move within
Yeah.
blank time. The
Oh,
smallest
of
unit
course he
time
can, of
possible
course.
in our universe.
He's stated to be as fast as the Heralds of Galactus, like the Silver Surfer, who once outraced the multiverse blowing up. The Surfer flew so fast he went back in time. So
And wait a minute, was that a normal human woman with him? Like, is she just a person, or does she also have superpowers? I want to know who that woman is.
you'd think Sentry would be able to handle some punk in a trench coat.
But it wasn't so simple. The Void was everywhere that the Sentry wasn't.
If Sentry saved
Quite
people
literally?
from a burning building, Void would crash an airplane. If Sentry healed a person's broken back, Void would give someone else cancer. What an asshole!
For every good act the Sentry performs, the Void
clip.
commits an evil one. Because the truth was, the Sentry and the Void were one and the same.
Damn.
Plot twist. Turns out Sentry's whole origin story was a lie. Robbie Reynolds wasn't a 60s high schooler beating up bullies like some Jack Kirby comic.
In reality, Bob Reynolds was a schizophrenic meth addict who drank the Sentry serum just to get high. And the
Owner
Void was
of, like-
a malevolent godlike entity
The
bonded to
animation
Bob that was
studio?
the literal angel of death.
Yes, from the Bible, with Moses and the Pharaoh and the dead firstborns. That's him, apparently.
And this being manifests as the
Awesome.
dark side of Bob's shattered psyche, a villainous alter ego with all of his power. Too much power for any one man to handle. The only
I
way
like
to
the
destroy the
jaw-opening
Void
animation.
was to also destroy the Sentry.
So Bob did something crazy. With help from Reed's tech, he used his own psychic powers to erase himself from everyone's past, present, and future,
God dang.
including his own.
Warping the perception of reality of every single person on the planet.
Hang
They
on.
would no longer remember him or even recognize anything remotely related to him. A picture of the Sentry would still technically exist.
Yeah, okay, that's
but
what I
in
was
your
gonna ask.
mind's eye, including Bob's, it isn't there.
I
Everyone knows
see.
repressing
Okay.
your problems always makes them better.
But Bob's memories eventually
Can
clawed
opening.
their way back. In
Yeah.
part thanks to Norman Osborn.
Of course it
Green
is.
Goblin,
Of course.
and his desire to somehow control the Void. So Norman had the Thunderbolts murder Bob's wife Lindy in order
I actually
to
thought
release,
that just
you know,
was
the Angel
him
of
and they
Death.
were strangling him.
Try controlling the kind of guy who can throw hands with Molecule Man, who somehow is one of the strongest beings in all of Marvel. And
Okay,
he's
then.
got almost complete control over the multiverse. So yeah, good luck with that one, Norm.
Molecule
All right,
Man
yeah.
was
Yeah, I
another
think Norm
mentally
kinda got
unstable
way
god
over his
whose
head
power
here.
fluctuates based on their self-confidence. In a way, a sort of kindred spirit to Bob.
It was then that Bob discovered the true source of his own powers, his
Oh.
own control over molecules. Yeah, you can do that too.
The
Okay.
Sentry can create and destroy matter on a whim, able to rip you apart at the molecular level, or conjure an entire new reality from scratch, all with just a wave of his hand, like Dr. Manhattan.
He can also regenerate
Does it
his body from
override
any kind
the
of
current
damage,
one?
like being burnt to a skeleton or getting Dr. Manhattan himself.
As long as one single solitary atom remains, the Sentry is unkillable.
And Void's
Yeah,
got
we all
this
know
and
how that,
more, except he doesn't hold back.
how
He
that
can
went for
shapeshift,
Mr.
create
Perfect
hurricanes,
Cell.
Trap you in darkness, possess your body, and devour your soul.
Ooh.
With his
Okay.
infinitendrils, the Void takes control of the victim's mind
Infinitendrils,
and
yeah.
tortures them with the memories of past traumas and nightmares.
He killed Loki. He wrecked Asgard.
Okay, the Void also overwhelmed Doctor Strange and Loki as Sorcerer Supreme, allowing it to scale to other powerful magic users in Marvel like Dormammu, who sustains the multiverse-spanning Dark Dimension. Gotcha, okay.
The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans, and the X-Men teaming up all at once could barely handle him.
Damn.
Void is one of the biggest bads in Marvel. Great fucking job, Norm. I'm something of a moron myself.
The only way forward, the only way for Bob to save everyone, including himself, was to do something he never imagined. Let the Void in.
By refusing to repress his darker half anymore, Sentry and Void merged and became stronger than the sum of their parts.
Nice,
Being now
nice.
free to finally live his life without the crushing weight of self-hatred and fear.
Maybe, but this is the Void
So
we're
is
talking
he
about.
actually
What if Bob
schizophrenic,
just
or
has
is
a
that
new
just
puppet
the
master
Void
who's only
being
letting
there?
him think he's in control?
As long as the Void exists,
Like,
it's
is
just
it a
another
misdiagnosis?
revolution in that same endless
'Cause,
cycle.
you know,
It remains to be seen whether even death itself
the
can break that
DSM-5
wheel.
doesn't
He'll be
really
back.
account
Sentry
for
is
things
gone,
like
but not
supernatural
forgotten.
presences.
He'll never be forgotten again.
I realized I'm at like a third
Do you
battery
believe a man can fly?
for a few
Yeah,
minutes.
Wiz, within the pages of DC Comics, everyone and their irradiated six-dimensional gorilla mother can do it.
What about in the real world? Not Earth
I mean,
1 or Earth
Felix
2,
Baumgartner.
but our own Earth.
Did that count
Earth
as flying?
Prime.
I guess that was just
Of
falling
you,
with
me,
style.
Clark Kent, a totally normal boy from New England who just happened to share a name with that comic book character.
Mere coincidence. That is, until the day Clark took a leap of faith and believed he could fly.
And he did. Surprise, surprise. Clark was actually from the planet Krypton.
Yeah.
Which apparently exists in our universe now? Anyway, the real Superman,
Who
the one
knows
from all those comics he
anymore?
loved, showed up just in time to get on the skinny on being Superboy. Wait, he could have chosen me! I believe I can fly!
Bubsy, don't jump off the... Oh. Clark had all your classic Kryptonian powers. Flight, heat vision, microscopic and telescopic sight, Arctic breath. It was the dream that every little boy had finally come true.
Oh, ow. Just in
Yeah.
time for his universe, our our universe to be annihilated literally 1 month later in DC Comics Armageddon. The
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wiz, we're canonically dead since 1986, apparently.
With everyone he knew and loved gone, Clark took shelter in a pocket dimension with other cosmic refugees. Now, an anachronism in DC's new, rebooted, post-crisis continuity, Clark was forced to watch as the comics landscape changed before his eyes. As stories became darker and more
That's
complex,
already
heroes
something we had
failed
to
be the
contend with.
paragons of good he saw them as in his childhood.
As someone else got to be Superboy.
Some people can't stand change. Can't stand to see a world that doesn't look the way it did when they were a child. The day needed to be saved by Superboy.
So he's an
real
arch
Superboy,
conservative?
Superboy Prime.
So he did what any Superboy would do. Punch really hard. He punched his way out of the dimension
That's
so
like
hard,
a very
the
famous
shockwaves
panel.
rippled through the universe and retconned DC Comics. Superboy was back, and he was gonna fix comic books forever. Hell yeah!
No matter how many fake heroes got in his way.
Oh shit! Super Chud Prime isn't just your ordinary.
And they
Kryptonian.
didn't make
Oh,
this
no.
guy the
He
villain in
is
Injustice?
As in,
Really?
From before the Crisis on
They
Infinite
just
Earths,
tried to make
the
regular
comics were
Superman the
a bit
villain?
more comical.
When Superman could sneeze solar systems apart or tow a galaxy of planets behind him like it was nothing.
Or clash with another
It's a
Kryptonian
Reggie
so
Giga style
hard, they
feat.
generated enough power to restore an infinite number of timelines.
Get ready to
Nice.
hear that word a lot. My favorite is the time Superman flew so fast he broke the light barrier, the time barrier, and even the bonds of infinity. I wonder
Okay,
if
so
these
what's he
writers
going out
ever
into?
imagined this bullshit would feed nerd arguments for the next half century. Not that I'm complaining. That's how I get paid.
Yeah.
No, he is a self-described power scaler's dream.
You think he's heard about us?
We can only hope not. As a Kryptonian,
Oh, I
with a
absolutely
traditional
have.
construction, he should also share many of the same resistances, like being transmuted to stone, having his atomic bonds weakened, or getting his energy drained. Kryptonians like Superman can withstand more esoteric attacks too. They can actively resist mental attacks by outthinking them, and their souls can resist being destroyed.
Oh,
Gotcha.
thanks, nerd.
Okay. Superboy Prime also has the Silver Age Kryptonian ability to vibrate his molecules to travel to other universes or higher dimensions. Yay!
Yellow sun fuel in his cells. And unlike that post-crisis super fraud who gets weaker without sunlight, Prime's got it covered.
With a suit of armor made from the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, which constantly feeds him solar energy, literally wearing the pelt of the monster who destroyed his universe, just to be better and stronger than Superman.
Because that's what he thinks he is. Superman with better feats and scaling. Superman, but real.
Superman, if he was a fucking idiot.
I'll kill you
Sure,
to
he has the
death!
same hyper-efficient
Some Master
brain that all
Koga level
Kryptonians
writing
have,
there.
but when it came to being a superhero,
Master
he
Koga's
was
gonna kill you all
immature.
to death!
Exactly what you'd expect from a kid who never grew up and never learned to hold back. Instead of saving Earth's heroes, he started massacring them. And let's be real, part of him that knows that
That was
editorial
at
will
least
just bring
2
them all back
reboots.
Eventually.
He's battled the Doom Patrol, Justice Society, Teen Titans, and 3 Flashes at once. He effortlessly murdered an alternate universe Justice League and even killed his rival, Connor Kent, the new Superboy. Even as other Kryptonians grew in power to become comparable to their pre-crisis iterations, Prime still held an advantage because he never held back.
Like the time he tore apart the Monarch's armor.
You know what I'm thinking here? And this is another character I really only know from Fandom Osmosis and Death Battle. He has the same kind of nihilism that Rick Sanchez demonstrated. The whole thing about, if, what value does life actually have if you could just reboot everything?
Accidentally
Obviously, that's
unleashing
not
the
Rick's
Big Bang
exact
in his
issue,
face,
but-
destroying the universe, and he was fine.
Or the time a Guardian of the Universe blew himself up in an attempt to stop Prime, blasting him into the multiverse atom by atom, and that only made Prime stronger.
Or the time he fought a potential future version of himself who became a god of time.
Yeah,
And
of
instead
course.
of teaming up, Prime stupidly attacked him and accidentally retconned themselves both out of existence.
Which sent him
Go into a sketch.
back to his original universe, our universe.
Oh,
Now,
goodness.
everyone he knew, his parents, his girlfriend Lori had been reading his comics. They knew
Oh,
he had become, and they were
damn.
terrified.
Once again, forced to watch as his heroes progressed without him, he pored over comic after comic, learning everything about DC,
And a little bit of Marvel.
only to discover his worst possible nightmare.
Not
He was the
only did
villain?
he never get to be Superman, he wasn't even a super villain that people liked. Turns out, power levels aren't everything.
So,
Yeah.
naturally, he flew to DC headquarters and
Oh,
attacked
God.
people writing his own comic.
Like some
You know what they
infinitely
should have done?
recursive meta hell.
Had
Photographs.
become a whiny, petulant, reactionary fanboy. Wiz, you think he's the guy posting on our Reddit?
And at the peak of his violent temper.
Hold on, what was that about
Wiz, you
Dragon?
think he's the guy?
It's so biased about DC Comics. At the same time, I just know they hate Dragon Ball. I can prove it. Is that an actual panel? Because that would solve the thing about do they know we exist. Because the thing is, I suspect it's edited, but I also would fully believe if it was a real
Posting on our
panel.
Reddit?
And at the peak of his violent temper tantrum, he murdered the Golden Age Superman, the original Superman.
Well,
Action Comics number 1,
shit.
the first superhero.
Instead of restoring DC's glorious
He wasn't even
past,
close to the
Prime
first
beat it to death.
superhero. I know
He
people
needed
say
to
that, but he
change.
And
wasn't.
that opportunity came when this alternate universe Jokerized Batman who laughs threatened to destroy all of reality.
Prime was drafted to help save the day, and it turned out he was the only Superboy who could.
Remember that time Prime punched reality so hard he retconned
30
DC
seconds
Comics?
ago.
Turns out that was no coincidence. Due to his repeated excursions across the multiverse, Prime became a space-time anomaly, and he slowly learned how to manipulate reality itself with his fists.
I guess you could call it his retcon power.
At first, its effects were random, like bringing Jason Todd back to life or restoring Beast Boy's memories. But he started to use it to rewrite
I didn't know
continuity
Beast Boy
to
didn't have his
fix the
memories.
evil
I've only
universes of the
watched the Teen
Batman
Titans
Blacks.
cartoon.
Giving them
And that
all
was
the
like
characters
20 years ago.
inside of them happy endings. In a weird way, that's what Superman has always done, right? Punch the bad guys so hard he saves the day.
Prime can punch hard enough to enter the time stream, seemingly exit the comic medium entirely, and even defeat the nigh omnipotent Darkest Knight.
Who was powerful enough to
Okay.
beat Perpetua, the goddess who created all of DC Comics, the whole shebang.
Okay.
And Prime hit the Darkest Knight so hard he erased his entire evil multiverse.
A feat that no one actually saw happen. Prime's first true act of heroism was one that he did selflessly, and it was the first step toward becoming a true hero.
The kind of hero that Superman always secretly knew he could be. A hero who could someday get his own issue #1. A hero like, well, Superman.
Maybe one
Did
day
he just
Prime
draw
will
that on
truly
his
believe in
skin?
himself, just like he once believed
And
he
then
could fly.
rip his shirt for no reason.
All right, the battle's about to begin, but first, Hitch calls are back. Hey, I'm Ben, the battle story.
I do not
Yeah, there's
have
unlimited.
the
It's kind of like your website you
cash.
purchase. All right, let's get to this battle. But don't forget to grab your pitch on Death Battle Digest.
Okay. Honestly, at this point, their powers are just fucking bullshit. I don't have time to pontificate because I do have to be ready to go when my ride shows up, which will be like possibly half an hour. And, yeah. It takes time to upload these. Goodness gracious. Like I was wondering though, with Sentry does he actually have schizophrenia, or is it the Void's presence in his mind causing a misdiagnosis? I think that would be interesting to know.
GG.
Because, therapy exists.
All right, the combatants
These
are
things
set.
could
We've
be
run the
treated
through
when
all
they're not
possibilities.
being
It's
caused by the
time
presence
for
of
Death
supernatural
Battle!
entities.
This city won't last much longer. Quit while you're behind, kid.
Mess up a superhero crossover? No way, Dork.
Oh yeah, that's Sean Shiplock.
You're coming right up.
And I think they said Sacramento was Sentry. Oh yeah.
You're dealing with someone who has the power
Yeah, I like that he didn't even
of
let
a
him.
million exploding suns.
Mistake, dipwad. It's prime time.
What?
It's what? I'm gonna do a voice for Death Battle. I think it'd be awesome.
Are you kidding me? Another Dark Superman fraud? Boring. It's cool when I do it.
I said another. There could be one. Dragon Ball style effects.
Stop hitting me.
He'll kill you.
I'll kill you. To death.
Wink.
Bye-bye, Bob.
Oh no.
It's time to play God.
I mean, aren't they both actual gods at this point? Like, they said that Future Prime was the god of time.
Okay, you weren't joking. Definitely a crisis level threat. Luckily, so am I.
Run all you want. If Bob couldn't escape me.
What hope do you have, boy?
I swear, if the winner is the Void, I'm going to be laugh so
Who
hard.
are you? Remind me
But I
again.
doubt it at this point.
Whatever happened to Lori?
Oh, yeah.
It's over, Clark. There is no happy ending. Not for you. Not for me. Not for anyone else. In the void.
Void.
Haven't you ever read a comic book, you big freaking nerd? There's always a happy ending.
Until it gets retconned. And then that gets retconned. And then that gets... You know how it goes.
Bob? You kept talking about the Sentry. Bad dream?
No idea, Lindy. Best sleep I've had in years.
Is this gonna get a punch out of the...
Crisis? Avert.
He just sent him to a comic book world?
I don't think I've ever seen someone beaten to death so wholesomely before.
Let's break this down into 3 chapters. Their strength, intelligence, and power.
He reset
Any flying
Sentry
brick fight, the first
to
question
be
you gotta answer is,
just
who's
his
stronger?
Prime and
normal
Sentry are
human
naturally
self.
2 of the heaviest hitters in DC and Marvel, more than capable of matching and surpassing Herald-level opponents like Superman and Thor.
Who are both strong enough to create and destroy an infinite number of timelines with their clashes. Just absolute wacky bullshit like that.
So in order to pick a winner, we have to take a close look at the strongest beings they've fought. Molecule Man and the Darkest Knight.
Sentry beat
All
the
right.
crap out of Molecule.
Sentry is stated by Tony Stark and Moonstone to be capable of replicating an event on par with the House of M, the No More Mutants event. However, the two were unaware of the broader scale of effects of the event, making it clear Sentry's full powers comparable to that
But
level.
remember, Eminem's power can fluctuate a lot, and when he fought Sentry, he wasn't at his full power.
Eminem's
so we can only
power.
scale this so
No, I
far.
don't.
But
to
Prime
install
overpowered the
Windows
Darkest
feature.
Knight after the Mad Bat had absorbed the powers of both Perpetua and, what do you know, Dr. Manhattan. Both of which alone could
Okay,
all
hey,
of DC.
Prime is also more than comparable to the mainline Superman, who's able to subdue the World Forger, one of Perpetua's children, and destroy his new multiverse in one punch.
And unlike with Molecule Man, there's nothing to suggest the Darkest Knight was holding back. In a straight brawl, Prime takes the edge in strength. But muscles aren't everything. Maybe Sentry could figure out
I
a
don't
way
think
to
muscles
rout
even
Prime's
matter at
brawn
this point.
with his intelligence.
While Prime does possess a super advanced Kryptonian brain, he clearly does not use it to its full extent.
What
It's
an
less that
idiot.
he's dumb and more that he's a teenager and has a habit of crashing out.
The Sentry, on the other hand, has been compared to Tony
Teenagers
Stark
are
and
all
Blackjack,
idiots.
some of the most intelligent people in all of Marvel Comics.
Sure, he mentally struggles with the whole Void thing, which sucks for him. But
Yeah.
losing control to the Void only makes him more dangerous.
And as the Merge Sentry, he's operating at his peak, fully in control of his powers. In a test of wits and wills, the Sentry was the more intelligent.
But the main question in this matchup had to do with their batshit insane powers.
I know,
His
right?
ability to reshape molecular matter and warp perception of reality to such an incredible degree, his powers seem much more versatile than Prime's. Prime may be stronger, but heat vision, frost breath, and Kryptonian punches aren't going to do much in the long run against someone who can regenerate from a single atom.
But pre-crisis Kryptonians have actually resisted having their molecules torn apart before, and Prime should be no different. So it's not like Sentry was ever going to just Doc Manhattan him away.
Prime could still be worn down. Kryptonians have incredible stamina.
I know
but we
people wanted
that
Dr.
sustained damage
Manhattan
will
in here,
eventually knock
too.
them out or kill them.
Unless Prime could find a way.
Okay, the Sentry is able to regenerate his body after being destroyed by Morgan Le Fay. Oh, because of course. Because of course Morgan Le Fay is a thing here. Okay. Well, she has claimed she could erase a person's timeline. There's no evidence she does. She used this technique on Sentry and later admits doing so would put her own life in danger. Okay. So can she actually erase a person's timeline? Or is it just the way they phrase it is unclear?
Insane regeneration? He was toast.
Luckily for Prime, his ability to retcon away your history and mess with your whole timeline was actually something Sentry had no specific resistance to.
Not only that, it was something he's been affected by in the past.
Like the time the Scarlet Witch rewrote all of reality during House of M. Bob's continuity was rewritten like everyone else's.
Or the time Absorbing Man had the powers of a cosmic cube and warped Sentry's personal reality. Moonstone literally describes it as a reality
Stupidest
punch.
fucking thing I've
Sentry's
ever
song-
heard. Okay, Sentry had planted his memories of the Silver Age into Earth 616 Paul Jenkins to write comics of his history after making the world forget his existence. This only affected people's memories of the centuries. Both him and the Void still existed during their time forgotten. They were just dormant. Alright. Gotcha,
Sonic Power
gotcha.
could theoretically retcon himself from Prime's perception of reality. However, this feat required assistance from Reed Richards, and it's unlikely he could pull it off mid-fight.
Pre-crisis
Yeah.
Kryptonians also resist a lot of mind manipulation.
I didn't know their
anyway,
minds were
so
being
good
controlled
luck
until a
trying.
moment ago.
Now, Prime hasn't always had the most perfect control over his retcon punch, so he might need more than one blow to finish the job.
But Prime was more than capable of powering through Void's scariest abilities.
Like having his soul eaten, or being cut off from sunlight. I guess that Edgelord solar armor came in handy after all.
In short, Prime could resist everything Sentry could throw at him, but Sentry couldn't do the same. Prime takes the final edge in powers.
With no way to easily put him down, Prime would eventually muscle his way through and retcon the Void away for good.
Sorry, Bob, defeat was unavoidable.
The winner is Superboy Pro.
Oh, hey, my pizza's here.
The winner is Superboy Prime. Letter to the editors? Oh yeah, I win. That's right. You hack frauds really tried to lowball me, but I checked the clock and it's prime
He punched
time,
through his
baby.
own victory
Personally,
screen.
that intelligence section.
Yeah, I know people were saying that if Sentry won, there'd be a chance that Superboy Prime would punch through it and retcon it. I don't think anybody was predicting that he would punch through his own victory screen.
Such a gimme. I don't crash out. I'm a tragic hero grappling with real, intense emotion. I can be smart anytime I want. But anyway, don't subscribe, don't join as a member, don't watch Death Battle, read my comics. Prime out.
Next time on Death.
Okay, let's see. Okay, we're getting Aang versus Traveler. Alright. I played Genshin Impact for 1 hour and my game froze up and wouldn't let me continue. I'm just reminding you all of that. Cancel. Slide this over a little to just me. My personal camera setting is called Just Me. The one that I use for all the death battle and all reaction stuff is just called Record. I've also got Violet, which is my ZA, because I didn't want to get rid of my Violet overlay. AC, which was Animal Crossing when I did that once, and Switch, which I have not gotten back to Tears of the Kingdom in almost 2 years. I haven't even played it. It isn't even almost 3 years at this point. Gosh. Yeah. Anyway. That was fun. I could not keep up. It was hard for me to understand some of the things that were happening, but that's because, you know, they do make these things up on the fly. You know, not Death Battle, obviously, but the comic book writers. And it's like, rule of cool is never stronger than it is in a comic book. I mean, people talk about anime bullshit, but... And, you know, the same kind of bullshit has been going on for centuries in... Like, I've brought this up before, but I want you guys to go look up the powers possessed by the Knights of the Round Table. Seriously. How there hasn't been some sort of anime or wire fu or something about this specific kind of over-the-top theatrical, you know, wellspring of power. I want to know, like, because when they're shown, they're basically just portrayed as knights. They don't have a lot of the powers that they traditionally have had in various legends, and it's like, yeah, you guys really need to look that shit up because it's hilarious. And I do have to be ready to go in about 10 minutes. I do have to go, but it's for a good cause. You know, I'm going to be working at Beaverton Pride. So if you see this today, come by. If you see this afterwards, let's come to next year. Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't really have much to say. I also don't have much to say about next time. I've seen one episode of Avatar. I'm in a dub of the book 4 comics, but I play a character who doesn't appear in the show, and she's only in one chapter. So, yeah. Her name is Biu. Anyway, like I said, I played 1 hour of Genshin, and my game froze, and then I couldn't, and then I wouldn't want to, because after... Look at this. I was fiddling that in my fingers and it just fell off on my shirt. The way MiHoYo has treated its voice actors is atrocious. Like, seriously. Oh my god. It's awful. Anyway, I gotta go, and I will see you all later. And, oh gosh. Until next time, I'm Blackjack Gabbiani, and I think it's prime time to read some classic literature. Yeah.